Alright, what's up, guys? So, Harley TBS has uploaded a video titled Just a Robot's Apology is Worse Than I Thought. Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna go down in history as one of the worst apology. It wasn't even really an apology, though. The thing is this, alright? So, if you're new to my channel, or if you're a veteran on my channel, you most likely done heard me say it already. But no, if you're new to my channel, this was something that I predicted before he even did the apology video, that he was going to say some apology, but it was more so going to be him trying to defend himself on the situation with him and Cinnabear. And I'm like, fam, there's no defense for that. You know, it's like I don't think he understands. And the thing is this, he won't understand until he sees somebody that he don't like do the same exact thing that he did. And then that's when, and I guarantee and I promise you, let it be some situation where I go and I do a video defending EDP 445. I promise you, Just a Robot would have ran with that video. He would have 100% ran with that video. So yeah, it's something where, like I said, you know, he's not going to understand what he did, like how it was wrong until he sees somebody else do it. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, man, you know, it's crazy how it's like stuff has to be explained that way, and it ain't just a common sense thing. Like, you knew. The thing is this. And that's what's crazy about this was like the amount of signs that he had prior before he made this video. I just don't get how you have that. You have your girlfriend telling you, you have your roommate telling you, you have your neighbor telling you. And it's something where it's like, fam, even if you would have posted online saying, should I do a video about the Cinnabear situation, you know, it's like I'm saying, like, it's something where it's like it could have been easily avoided, you know, it overall could have been easily avoided, but yeah, he decided to go down the route where he don't listen to nobody, and I'm like, that's overall what happens when you don't listen to people. You know I can have my moments where I'm hard-headed too, and I don't really be listening to people, but I feel like when it's some stuff like this, yeah, I'm going to listen to people. If I got, and that's the thing about it, it's like I've never had it to where people had to tell me don't upload this video, but nah, anyways, let's go ahead, check out this video. Make sure if you guys haven't, though, go subscribe to Harley TBS. Show him some love, support. But anyways.
Just a robot. Who's that guy? Am I right? I've talked a lot about this situation, and just like you, I want this to be the final evolution. Across almost 4 hours of content, I've discussed all the information we had at this point, and to be frank, I'm exhausted. Outside of stepping on the toes of a lot of colleagues and former friends, just the sheer amount of work I've put into this is getting to be a bit much. I mean, what did I gain from all of this outside of the outrageous amounts of revenue, online popularity points, Anyway, that's nothing, right? Then there's one favor I'd like to ask from you. I'm launching a channel for 2020 era Harley TBS videos, like the daily videos on drama I used to do, called Harley 2BS. If you could go subscribe and check out the video that I just released as you're watching this, where I discussed the Dream Arsler drama and give a little of my own thoughts from the perspective of someone who has diagnosed ADHD. You couldn't
I just remember when he did that face reveal and people were, you know, getting on him. And I was like, I was going to do a video defending him. And no, it was one of my friends. I think they had, I can't, did I ever do that? I don't think I did. But I do remember one of my friends was all like, nah, just like, don't worry about that guy. He done got caught up in some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. So yeah, I guess like prior beforehand, I don't know, because I didn't really know about Dream. I knew that he did the I think, yeah, it was Minecraft. He did the Minecraft videos. And then when he did that face reveal, people were like, you know, they were going off on him about it and stuff, like, you know, saying, oh, he should have never did it. And I'm like, bruh, if the man wanted to do a face reveal, let this man do a face reveal. So I might have defended that, but anything else that he's behind, I'm like, nah, not with that, you know. But at least I can listen to my friends, you know, when it comes down to videos. And if I did, I'm like, it's something where I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, it was just more so defending that whole face reveal situation. Anything else, I was like, yeah, that, I'm like, I don't know about anything else. I don't follow him like that. So, but anyways.
Oh.
But yeah, I probably might end up checking it out.
Just a Robot put out a video,
see what's going
in part
on.
Focused on an apology, and in part as a response to all of the allegations we discussed in the previous video. The most important of these being the claim that he defended a predator because he had romantic interest in them, him asking a minor for explicit artwork of Jade animations, him sending fetish artwork to a minor, and the uncomfortable effort he made to meet up with and talk to my friends and I at VidCon after we cut ties with him, after we expressed that we didn't want to be around him. And in the year after that, I guess following us through a convention hall after he saw us? If that doesn't sound like the most terminally online shit you've ever heard, I'm kind of concerned. So let's watch Just a Robot's video. Response with receipts. I can't wait to see those.
Hey everyone, it's been a while.
And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like I think even the last video I watched where they were the person was talking on his response video, it very well could have been shortened up to just be like, hey, I apologize to all the people I wronged. That's the thing. Even I remember he said that in the video that he made about me, that he would never apologize to me for the actions. So I genuinely don't think he feels bad for doing that Cinnamon video. I mean, if he did, it's like, if it's something where you would have had that feeling prior before you even hit uploaded the video. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, people may be different, but I feel like when it comes to, gut feelings, senses, and all that stuff, yeah, common sense, all that, like, I think that's somewhere it's like, it's the same with everybody. It's like, it'll be different, but we all have that same feeling and stuff, and that's just, it's a feeling we can't ignore. But anyway.
It's been a couple of months. These last few months have been very chaotic, to say the least, and I know a lot of you have many questions. You're curious about my side of the story. Don't worry, I brought receipts. I know most people won't care for what I have to say. The tea has gone cold, and they've moved on to talking about people like Mudahar and Nuxtaku. But at least you're here watching this unmonetized video of mine, so you don't have to even worry about giving me money by viewing this video. Or maybe you're just viewing this through someone else's live stream who's looking to farm a few more clicks off of me. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things.
The funny thing is that Just a Robot, I think he's still in that mindset that he's that, like, big content creator that he once was. And don't get me wrong, like, that's something where, when you see that, it's like, dang, yeah, he is blowing up. But he still thinks that that's going on. He still thinks that he is that content creator. And it's like, no, bruh. The funny thing is that he was falling off prior before he did that Cinnabare video. So I think, yeah, it was just that Cinnabare video. That was him not thinking straight. He overall thought, like, what's going to matter more? Because I feel like all content creators, we think this way. When we're thinking of a video idea, we're like, dang, like, I really got to go through with this video idea. Like, I'm not going to let nobody tell me different, because at the end of the day, it's like, I know that this is going to be a good video. Well, in his case, in situation, he didn't realize it was a bad video. Yeah, it's a good video, I guess, for those that just need something to laugh at. Because it was like, fam, there was no reason to defend that girl, so... But, yeah, I still think that he's caught up in that mindset that he's better than everybody. And I'm like, everybody that you've gotten into it with, I don't know, like, I feel like, well, I guess, like, speaking on Harley, myself, what was the other, content creators where he was following them throughout VidCon. I'm trying to think, any content creator, I guess, that hasn't done what he's done. It's like, yeah, you can't look at us and be all like, oh, I'm better than them. We ain't did no video defending no pedophiles, so... Anyway,
fucked up. I really dropped the ball on this situation. I can't even say that I was manipulated or enabled to get involved with the cine drama, because both my roommate and my girlfriend and even my neighbor told me that what I was doing was stupid and reckless. Even I knew that defending someone from the art CC with allegations this serious would more than likely go bad for me. I, along with everybody who was close to me, expected me to get some backlash, but not this much backlash. They're not even telling me they told me so, because they didn't even expect it to get this bad. But before I get into what's going on and all the allegations against me, I would like to apologize to a few people. I would like to apologize to my girlfriend, my roommate, and my neighbor for not listening to them. You guys know me best, and you were looking out for my best interest. I should have listened to you guys, and now I'm facing the consequences for my actions. I would like to apologize to my editor Lorenzo for any backlash he might have faced from editing my video. Even you were worried about things going wrong after I released the video.
If I'm an editor, and that's something where I think that, and I just think that that's that fear tactic with Just a Robot that he tries on people, that he uses his like content creating career to like, oh, look at what I did to all these people. Do you want to be on that list too? So I don't think the conversation went like that with his editor, but I'm pretty sure, if you read between the lines, like he probably to a point had intimidated his editor into, editing videos for him. And I mean, it might have been a situation where, the editor's just seen it as an opportunity, like, oh, let me just go and kind of add something to my resume. So, when I edit for other people, I'm like, oh yeah, I edit these videos and stuff. So could be the case too. But yeah, I just think it's one of those like scare tactic things where it's like, there most people would see that and be like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going to edit, because I guess like for me, I'm like, yeah, if he sends me that video, I'm like, fam, this no. Do not, I'm like, do not, I'm not gonna edit this video. So I'm like, you can call me whatever you want to call me, you can say whatever you want to say, but it's like, I know that this is going to be bad for your career, editing a video. I'm like, you didn't do no research, you didn't do it. I'm pretty sure the editor didn't know that. It's like, it's one of those things where, it's like, you getting paid. Yeah, you ain't gonna be sitting down thinking about that. But I'm like, fam, even for me, I'm like, there's been times where I've been paid to, do work when it comes down to something like either, well, yeah, like last time I was like, I did get paid for some stuff was for a video game. If they had me do something that made me overall feel uncomfortable, I wouldn't have done it. And it's something where I'm like, nah, I think it's best if you pass this along to somebody else. Keep the money. I'm not, going to hassle you or any of that stuff. But yeah, it's something where I'm like, the editor should have known, like, that's not gonna work.
Yo, and I'm sorry for making you edit it in the first place. I hope the extra money I gave you can make up for my mistake. I would like to apologize to Eno for how my video affected her. You were so young, and no one should go through that at your age. Along with anyone who might have been made uncomfortable by things I've said in my video. And I'm also sorry to my fans for disappointing them. What I did was incredibly stupid, and I understand if you unsubscribed from me. I'm not upset with everybody who has made a video on me, because I can understand where a lot of them are coming from. Granted, there are a few people who have said some crazy things about me.
Like, I knew how this guy was. I warned you how he was. I told you what position you were in, and I was very conscious and scared on your behalf because of what position you're in. Jar could have you, and that's probably what he was trying to, like, that was probably his dream, his end goal.
Credit where it's due. Scarcely so. He didn't monetize the video. Can't believe that's how low a bar we're applauding though. He does apologize, and he does acknowledge that the blame is his own. He wasn't manipulated into defending a predator. He chose to do so. Here, a total lack of research and, let's say, some complicated feelings towards the predator in question. To me, show negligence to such a degree that he should never be trusted to handle a serious allegation like this ever again. Also, speaking to you, you have to start listening to the people around you. When everybody is telling you that you're drunk, you're probably drunk. There's a long list of mistakes he's made in serious situations like this in the past, but this is the one that caught the audience's attention and brought those audience members to the conclusion that he doesn't deserve another shot at this. We'll loop back around to this point later. There is no...
Yeah, it's like you sit down and think about just all the different... Even... So that's just one thing that it's like, I don't know too much about the videos that he's made on me, so I can't really speak on the videos that he's made on me, but I know that he has wronged other people. And when I look at that, I'm like, man, he done gotten away with this stuff for so long. And then it's like, eventually I just feel like that it all caught up to him. That is something that I am curious about, though, because it's like, just even, we're hearing the stories of the people that are still on YouTube. Imagine the people out there that are like, they're not like really into the internet anymore, because just a robot either done ran them off or whatever the case may be. But it's like, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more stories that we could hear about just a robot. It's one of those things where it's like, and even that too, I've said this before, where it's like, I would like to hear the stories of like, his former co-workers, because it's like, yeah, it's like according to the stuff that I've seen, yeah, he done said some stuff like questionable things at the job where I'm like, yeah, he might not get into details on what he said, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I feel like if there's a situation between a random person or a group of people going up against just a robot, he's of course going to tell his story. Of course, he's going to try to do any and everything's in his power to defend himself. But I'm like, when there's a story, there's always going to be two sides to it, if it involves multiple people. So I think that's what he was more so trying to achieve with this response video, is that he was, I guess, I don't know, expecting people to hear him out and then just be like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's, it's cool that you put it this way. And it's like, no, bruh. That's not gonna work. It's something where it's, I don't, it's, you didn't, like, I guess, yeah, overall that, didn't do enough research. But it's like, you didn't care about nobody else. It's like, you didn't care about the Cinebear victims. You didn't care about the people that were affected by the Cinebear situation. I guess, like, more so people on the outside looking in, where it's like, they've been through stuff like that themselves. It's like, now you want to apologize for that stuff. But it's like, yeah, it's he saved it where it's like in a little portion beginning of the video, and then talks about a bunch of other different random stuff, and I'm supposed to just be like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's a a heartwarming apology. It's not, bro. It's really not.
Excuse for how he handled this.
The biggest problem with my video draft about Cindy by far is how soft I went on her. I regret that even more now due to the fact that new information has been released about Cindy. I don't like being lied to, especially by people who wanted my help, but I fell for what she told me, being the gullible fool that I am. I didn't believe that Cindy is a pedo, and I still don't believe she's a pedo. I don't believe she had a desire to get with the minor or exchange nudes with the minor. I never said what Cindy did.
And that's the thing that, people have said. It's like, everybody just, they know that. You don't have to get with somebody to have an inappropriate conversation with them. She still, at the end of the day, had an inappropriate conversation with this minor. That's the part that you're not understanding. The amount of times I've seen this more so with like other people's videos, and it's like just hearing it's such a dumb thing to say. Like, really, it really is. I guess, like, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe when he has kids, or if he does I don't know, he just don't seem like the father figure type. That's something where I'm like, I feel like that would be really depressing if I'm just out and about minding my own business, and it's all like, hey, my dad made videos about you. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, who's your dad? Or what's his content creating name? It's like, oh, his name is Just a Robot. Immediately would just put my head down. I'd like, nah, it's one of those kids. It's one of those things where it's like, you gotta grab the kid on the shoulder and just be like, I'm gonna pray for you. just there's gonna be a day where it's like, I'm going to I'm gonna spend a whole 24-hour prayer for you. You deserve it, kid. I'm like, just tap the kid on the head and be all like, hey man, just keep your head up. I'm sorry. Like, I'm really sorry. I think that would be the first time where I would cry for somebody. I'm like, nah, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that at all. I'm like, I thought I had my bad luck days, but man, I'm like, that's something where I'm like, I feel like you had a legitimate reason, you were birthed into this world and you were crying. Like, you got up, looked at the parents, and it's like, don't know what the girlfriend's like, but yeah, Just a Robot. Yeah, that's something, you realize, like, yeah, your father is Lord Farquaad. I'm like, yeah, that's a unfortunate situation, but anyway.
It was okay. I said it was wildly inappropriate and an optics nightmare. Usually I would expect that if someone was grooming, that the would intend to get with them. At least this was my thought process at the time, based off of all the other grooming cases I have seen. I didn't believe she did what she did out of malicious intent.
So his logic. So if somebody, I guess, pulls a gun out and they shoot that person, and they've done this like numerous times. So based on his logic, it's like, oh, well, it wasn't murder. So, or like they didn't die. So therefore it's not, there shouldn't be like no charges or no backlash or anything off of it. It's like, fam, this person just shot somebody. It's like, you're missing the point. They did something damaging. It's like, that's the thing that he's not understanding. Something damaging had happened to somebody, and you're trying to like sugarcoat it and make it seem like that it's not all that bad because, oh, she wasn't trying to get with them, or what. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, if you so-called claim that you have a roommate and a girlfriend, I'm like, yeah, they need to file papers to like watch over you and stuff to make sure, you don't do something along these lines, if not something worse. Like, it's something where you need somebody watching over you. Is it one of those things where it's like, yeah, even though you don't like go to jail or prison or nothing, is it still possible to get like a probation officer? He needs somebody like, or he needs to like go in and get checked out, do something. But anyway,
intent or to hurt anyone. I really believe that she was just incredibly socially, along with the fact that I really wanted to believe that she wasn't as guilty as everyone was painting her out to be.
The issue with the video he made about her is not that he was too soft on her, nor should he be able to argue he was lied to. He admitted that he did not research the subject, he defended her in that call before she could even defend herself, and his video was an outright defense of her and call out towards Birdie. That's enough, and the excuses he uses are just that. You didn't.
Oh, and I think Birdie, I think, wasn't that Cinnabear's roommate? So because I've never seen his video. I've never seen the Cinnabear defense video. I might end up having to check that video out at some point in time. But yeah, if that was the case, it's like, fam, here it is, the roommate. They're trying to do something good, and call out their roommate for doing something bad. And then you slap down the Uno reverse card and you're trying to, that's crazy. Yeah, I might have to at some point in time check out the defense video, the Cinebear defense video, because I've never sat down and watched it. I've just heard, people talk about it and seen clips of it and stuff, but I haven't sat down and watched the full video of things. I'm pretty sure somebody out there then re-uploaded the video, but anyways.
For what she told you. The evidence was handed to you and you didn't look at it. It's your fault that you made the entire video without looking at the evidence.
I never said what Cindy did was okay. I said it was wildly inappropriate and an optics nightmare.
This is a dishonest portrayal of your video. Some of the sentiment of this statement could be accurate, but to say that video was anything other than a defense of what she did would be bold, but more importantly, not true. I also feel this conflicts with the intro to the video, where you admitted the blame was your own, that you weren't manipulated, and that you didn't do the necessary research before making the video. Why walk this back now? Also, I don't want to get too deep in a discussion around how you can or can't reclaim the R-slur, so I'll keep this short. I think even if someone is awful, using the R-slur against a person you know to be neurodivergent is gross. And literally what people went after the Senate over. You know that. It's your choice the kind of audience you want to cultivate. But the kind of people who'd be okay with you referring to other neurodivergent people with the R-slur are probably the same people who would do it to you when they decide they don't like you.
The first draft of my Cindy video was originally made to bash her. That being said, I still went softer on her than most people did, and I was planning to add more to my video draft as the drama went on. I really should have focused on being more professional and objective with the sensitive information around Cindy. Instead, I took her at her word, and I gave her way more charitability than she deserved.
I don't understand his... Why did I jazz hands?
So it's just, yeah, it's something where I'm like, so I guess if you sit down and have a conversation with Jeffrey Dahmer and he tells you, oh, I ain't mean to, cut up people and eat them up and things, like it was something where, I drank a lot and I don't remember, doing that. How would that, so I feel like if that was it, like let's say that situation happened now and just the robot was like his lawyer or something, his attorney, but overall it's like, so he'll defend him, like how would that, yeah, that's something where I'm like, I don't know, I would have to like maybe ask like a form of AI technology. I'm like, can you use this like just the robot Cinebear video but then replace it with Jeffrey Dahmer situation, just so I can just hear how like idiotic that would be, because I feel like he probably would say something along the lines like, oh well, I'm trying to like say something that's like, because you like, I gotta remember that Jeffrey Dahmer situation, that was an actual real thing, but I guess like, yeah, he would say something stupid with it. I was like, I don't know, I don't want to say something like, offensive, and then yeah, next to you, so I'm just gonna stop there. But I'm like, how do you defend that? I guess what I'm more so trying to say, it's like a crime is a crime, bro. You can't, there ain't no defense for it. But anyways,
What the fuck? I don't understand his video pipeline. This might be a weird immersion break for some of you who give a shit about that. But for me, a video timeline is something like research, write, review, record, edit, and thumbnail. I don't recreate the video from scratch, and I don't know why he does. I think I get what he means though. He didn't script when I knew him, and so I suppose the first video, he didn't do much research, and then, and this is the part where he loses me, he planned to recreate...
He didn't? Oh, I didn't. I don't know why I always assumed that he's always has done like a script. Maybe he knew him before me and him had got into some drama or got into our drama, but yeah, I always had thought, because I remember his fans, they would always call me out for that. They were like, oh, you don't use a script in your videos. I'm like, I don't need to use a script. If I'm doing, my thing is this, if I'm doing a like, yeah, overall a reaction video, it's like, I guess like my script is, all right, so let me, hear out what's being said in the video, say what I need to say. It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know, I feel like that I have, always have, well, like, because I just remember that 5-year period where I was trying to discover myself as a content creator. I was like, yeah, and I guess like there's like hints of like, where I hear of like situations like in movies, for an example, where it's like, you know, an actor will improvise a scene. And so I guess like, you know, yeah, overall I practice that. And I'm like, you know, I would more so, because the thing is this, like, I know what I'm talking about, you know, so it's something where if I'm reacting to something where I don't really know too much about it, then I guess that's why I had to get into my like super, you know, improvision, I think, I don't know, but anyways, yeah, where it's like, you know, I would just like kind of compare whatever it is. So like, let's say for an example, if I'm doing a like or like a sneaker review video, but it's like on a pair of I'm trying to think, have I owned Reebok before? I've owned Reebok. All right, so let's just say it's a sneaker brand that I don't really know too much about. So I guess, yeah, you know, that's when the research and stuff like that comes into play. But yeah, overall, it's all like, you know, I would like kind of just improvise. I'm like, okay, so what have I said about other sneaker or in other sneaker review videos? So I'll just need to, you know, put that along with whatever sneaker I am reviewing, a part of whatever brand. But I'm not just gonna do a video where I'm like, hey guys, this is a good sneaker and I don't know nothing about it, and it could probably be the worst sneaker of all time. So it's like, yeah, that's when it's like, you know, you gotta do like some in-depth research and things in order to you know, make sure you get your, or yeah, to get your point across. But anyways,
The entire video from scratch if his opinion changed after further research. No creator I know approaches video production like this.
Yeah.
It's effortless and can easily result in a video backfiring spectacularly. That wasn't clear already. He's making it harder than it has to be. This is a problem of his own creation. And if you have a perspective on content creation, then it should be obvious that this is not an excuse for bad research on a leaked version of a video that he was already sending out to creators for review.
As you can hear at the end of the full call I had with Cine, I said that I would be making a new draft in defense of Cine before I talked to Jack. But yeah, I'm going to be changing my video a lot, and I'm also going to have to reach out to Jack because, you know, for all I know, you're...
Uh-oh! Have fun with that, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going to get the video ready because knowing Jack, they're probably going to panic and try to control the narrative. Like, I thought I was being fair by doing that because I only talked to Cine after I had a draft ready to upload on her, but now I can see that
my thing is this though. So crime takes place, all right? You could see the evidence clear as day, you know, or like clear as some clear glasses or whatever. My thing is this. The evidence is there. How can one control the narrative? I guess like I never really mentioned or talked on that, but it's like, how does one control the narrative if the evidence is there? It's something where it's like, fam, if the evidence is there, there ain't no narrative to be controlled. You know, you can't control something that's like, it was already an out of control situation. So it's like, if that was the roommate, I think that might have been the roommate, because I think I did hear something where it's like the roommate transition, and I think there was like, they wanted to be referred to as Jack. So, but anyways, it's like, yeah, you know, if that's the roommate, it's like, all I was just doing was just putting this stuff out. You know, so it's like, if the evidence is there, then that's just overall evidence to back up, you know, the situation that I'm accusing this person, sitting bearer of. So yeah, it's something where it's like, you know, you can't control the narrative on something where it's like, okay, if evidence is there and it's clear as day, it's like, you can't, there ain't no controlling that. It's, so that's something where I'm like, how does one control the narrative on something where it's like, you can't control it? But anyway,
incredibly stupid move.
To be clear, I have no intention to defend Jack. That, fair. But what's fair about this approach? In the call where you made it clear that you wanted to speak to Jack, you also made it pretty clear that you had made up your mind and did not trust him. Getting the video ready when you clearly weren't confident enough to make the video without hearing Jack out is pointless.
I was planning for Saturday to be a day where I would @ Jack on Twitter, along with a day to look over a whole bunch of videos about Cine to make sure that my information was correct.
You should do that first. Why start work on a video before you know what you want to say? Or record and hire someone to edit a version of the video before you've even bothered to do the minimum research. Sure, maybe when you're lucky enough to have a good first take and there's no corrections you have to add, the videos move out of the gate really fast. But what about when you get it wrong? Because let's be honest, You're gonna get it wrong if you do it like this.
Unfortunately, the last draft that I was still in the middle of adding stuff to was leaked by Kumo, and I panicked uploaded what I had. As you can see from this screenshot, which is of my Cine video, I uploaded it unlisted on October 10th, which was a Tuesday, and the actual Cine video was planned to go live on Sunday, but then Kumo leaked this version of the video, so I foolishly decided to upload this version because the other one still wasn't finished.
That part I understand. I get the panic and the impulsive decision to put out a video that wasn't finished with all the pressure on you. What I don't understand is all the missteps it took to get there. If you didn't upload a version of the video that you made without even reading the document of evidence about her, then there would be no video to leak.
I don't do YouTube full time. I have a job. I have Saturdays and Sundays off. That's why I was trying to do extra research on Saturday. He got it through Romantic Goblin, as I was in the middle of asking people to look over it to see if there was any mistakes I needed.
And that's the thing where it's like, I guess it's wrong to, leak out a person's, it is. It's overall wrong. But I think the reason why they leaked it out because they knew that, it's one of those videos where it's like, nah, bruh, people need to see this. They need to see you for who you truly are and stuff. So it's something where I'm like, I don't agree with the leaking, but at the same time, it's like, there wouldn't have been no video there to record if you would have just been like, no, I'm not going to defend this girl. I'm just going to, leave the situation alone. Whatever she's going through, that's on her, But yeah, it's like you put yourself in that situation. So yeah, it's something where I do think that he was trying to, like, I guess, take some of the heat off of him and then put it on Kumo and things because, just a robot. He has a way of manipulating his fans into thinking like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. They're the ones that's doing something wrong. So yeah, that's what I personally think. You've dealt with them long enough. Yeah, you'll see that behavior. But anyway,
to correct. I asked people like Misanthropony, a Kumu, not to be confused with Kumo, and others if they could look over my video. I was even debating on whether I should have Chud look it over because he knew about the Cine situation. My roommate was also on a business trip and coming home on Saturday. I was planning to look over both docs with him very carefully. I have the worst case of dyslexia in the world, so it's very hard for me to do that myself. Yeah, my dyslexia often leads me to focus more on what I can hear rather than what I can read.
Extra research? You didn't do any. Yeah. I get the time constraints and the struggle with dyslexia.
Is there there's like two things that can possibly make me a millionaire, but I think that would be like a cool form of technology because I think they do have like them like VR glasses and things. So no, that's something that they should come out with is like some like VR like AI dyslexia, like AI technology for people that suffer from dyslexia, where it's like so you put the glasses on and then like so if you like say like I guess like do a test and be like like okay like what does this word spell out, what is that word, so it kind of like it calculates that stuff and it's like okay we've put together like I don't know what they would overall call it, but it's like this is just the like technology overall helps you read out things. So either that or they should have it where there's like a reading device where it's like I guess like again could be with like those VR glasses where it's like you aim it at a piece of paper and then it reads it out to you because them VR at least like the VR headset that I have it's pretty loud so I don't know what the glasses what they would overall sound like, but yeah, it should be a thing though where it's like if not that then I guess maybe your phone and then you like hover it over and then it like copies it and then it just reads it out to you and stuff. So you very well could have did that and things, but yeah, I don't know. Dang, it's like I be thinking of some stuff. I'm telling you, there's gonna be a day where I go through with some like just one of these ideas that I be coming up with, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have one of them like houses on the hills in California, just swimming in a swimming pool. Like, yeah, that one idea that I put out in Harley TBS's video, that reaction video. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna shout out Harley TBS, because if it wasn't for that video, I never would have said that form of technology. But anyways, I'm like, yeah, they live stream or do something. I'll make sure gift them some subs and things to just to like show some love and support for kind of giving me that brainstorming idea and things just by reacting to this video. But yeah, it's something where I'm like but jokes aside, I'm like there's many ways you could have went about going through the documents without your roommate being there. You could have even have sent the documents out to somebody, one of your editor or one of your fans, and had it where they read the documents out for you, or it's like just post it on social media. It's like, hey, can you guys like sum up the documents real quick? Something, I don't know. But anyways.
I do. But when, as you say, YouTube isn't your job, I don't see a reason to rush an opinion out on something as serious as this.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen. I don't think it's a sin to fuck up and apologize, but it's obvious that this is part of a bigger problem and that you are not serious about doing better.
This is why I was considering having Chud look over the video, because I considered him to be an objective person. Granted, I went back and forth on whether I wanted him to look over it privately or on a live stream. I was also encouraged to have Chud look over my video by people like Romantic Goblin and Cinny.
You could correct me if I'm wrong, Kuma, but didn't you say the same thing on the Chud Logic stream, something she also watched but was happy with the conclusion of?
Yeah,
When you
no, I
called
said
in
the
for
exact same thing on a stream that you had no issues with.
I agreed to do this, even though I didn't know that much about Chud. I just knew he did a video on me a really long time ago, and out of any video I've ever seen on me, I thought it was the best one ever made. Ironically, he was covering my video on cancel culture.
Never know for what or when you'll be cancelled. Maybe you were live streaming and you suddenly screamed out the N-word. Maybe you lied about a drama which caused people to dig into your past about other dramas you have talked about. Maybe you're completely innocent and the allegations against you are false, but too many people are against you and they won't listen. Or maybe you don't have the evidence to prove your innocence. I know cancellation will come for me one day. It comes for everyone. It's not a question of if it will happen to me, it's when. Will it happen in 2025, 2022, or maybe this year? We won't know for sure until it happens.
Yeah, that video aged like a fine wine.
If you knew that there was more for you to do with the video and it didn't even include the interview with Jack, why would it even cross your mind to let somebody watch the video on stream?
Just to give you an example of the extra research I could have done on Cinny, this doc was released on the same day Kumo uploaded my video onto his channel. Unlike the other two docs, it's short and straight to the point. If I saw this, I would have held off on uploading my video to do extra research. But because of what Kumo did, I panicked and uploaded what I had.
This is just an excuse, man.
Yeah, and it's something where I'm like, and I did say this in the like last video I reacted to where it was somebody reviewing his response, where you could have posted on social media and said, hey, this video that got leaked out by this Kumo person, that was a unfinished video. Like there's still work that I need to do. But yeah, I had put this video together, but I hadn't read all the documents, so I held off on uploading it. Waiting until I was gonna, have time to read all the documents, but the actual video will come out at some point in time. But this video that they uploaded, that's an unfinished video, so, but yeah, it's something where I'm like, I still feel like though, even if he would have read all the documents, he still would have, probably, would have had some conversation with this Cinnabare person, realized like, this could be a potential girlfriend in the future, and he still would have defended her in the video. So yeah, it's something where he probably would have cracked some jokes and might have said some insulting things here and there, but I feel like even if he had read all the documents, he still would have said the same thing. So
you didn't do your job. You put a bad video on your channel and you made the wrong call on who to trust it with. You can throw the blame at anybody you want, but it just shows how hollow the accountability that you're offering is.
When I uploaded the Cinny video to my channel, all I could think about was how unprepared I was for this situation. I came across as very arrogant in that video due to past success of going against the mainstream commentary community opinion and coming out on top. Granted, often when I upload a video on YouTube, I get anxiety. I think to myself, oh no, this is the video that's going to get me cancelled. Hopefully it will go over well. That's why I try to hype myself up, because often when you come across as confident in a video, it makes people more willing to hear you out. Granted, it's a double-edged sword because it can make you come across as an arrogant douchebag as well.
At this point in the video, an info card came up forwarding viewers to a collaboration I made with him over 3 years ago, and I spat out my drink. It's a bad video, and my whole section sucks.
Camilla says she feels bad for Peaches because Peaches has already apologized. Yeah? She also apologized ages ago. You didn't accept that one. So why is this one different?
Why would he even recommend this as an example of success?
As for the way I interviewed Cinny, I have no excuses for myself. I was completely unprofessional with how I handled that interview. The interview was very cringe and my questions were leading. I was thinking about redoing it, but I thought that would be dishonest.
I hate the use of the word cringe when describing how it was handled. I believe Cinnabare also described her actions as cringe when she was called out for speaking inappropriately with a minor too. It wasn't cringe to waste an interview defending someone else from predator allegations without even doing the research. It was unbelievable. It was beyond what I can convey with colorful adjectives and dramatic body language. I appreciate
no, that's something where I I think if I hadn't done all these videos that I've done, like talking on this situation or just even the reactions, it's like I would have just wanted to see how people would have reacted if I would have did a video defending EDP 445. Like, oh, well, if he was just up there to get a cupcake, now I mean he was just up there to get a cupcake. I'm saying, you know, cupcakes at a store is expensive. Free food is free food. People would have definitely been questioning me. They'd been like, hey, how did you go from doing reaction videos to like Try Not to Laughs, gaming, and all these other different, you know, bits of content you done worked on to where now you're defending EDP 445. You know, it's like, it's one of those things. It is funny because, like, so Just a Robot, he did do it. Well, I guess it was supposed to be a clip from another video, but I'm like, I just don't understand why you would upload this video by itself to promote the other video. It's like, there's other ways you could have promoted that video. But anyways, regardless of that. But so he uploads a video where he's explaining how EDP 445 could have gotten away with his situation. And I'm thinking to myself, so what would have been different if I would have uploaded that video? You know, it's like, how would you have reacted if I would have uploaded that same exact video? I think I might have mentioned that before when I talked on that video, but yeah, it's something where I'm like, I know he would have called me out for that. So I'm like, if you done called me out for much more smaller things throughout my content creating career, something like that, yeah, you definitely gonna call me out on it. But anyway,
Admission that you did wrong, but there's no reason to pretty it up with nice words.
The only part of the video that aged well is what I said about Jack. From the very beginning, I knew there was something that wasn't adding up about this drama, and it was Jack. They're getting bashed for stuff hard right now.
None of what was said aged well, and it wasn't a secret that Jack had a lot of skeletons in his closet. If you were the one who put those claims out there, then sure, you could say it aged well. But feeling that there was something off about him does not a well-aged video make.
But I know for a fact they're not going to leave the internet. They're way too addicted to it.
Is it not insane to say this when you're also in the hot seat? You also aren't leaving the internet. You're in no place to point the finger.
Now, I've been called a simp for defending someone before. I've been called a simp
I mean, if he does, it's something where I'm like, hey, you know, you brought that on yourself, this whole situation. I think a lot of people are hopeful that he is. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, I know people will probably ask me, like, you know, do I want him to leave the internet? It's something where I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, that's his choice. I feel like that's not a question for me to answer, but if I had to, yeah, I think it probably would be best for a lot of people, you know, just so they won't have to fall victim to being a fan of his or fall victim to being, you know, a victim of his and things. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, I think it would be best for the internet, but at the end of the day, I ain't got control over what a person does. You know, he's a grown man, so he's allowed to do whatever he wants to do. So I mean, if he does leave, hey, I feel like that's a lot of stress, you know, being lifted off of the internet. But if he does decide to stay, it's one of those things where it's like he is gonna have to clean up who he is and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you can't be hiding behind autism and dyslexia as an excuse, like, oh, this is why I messed up, or I gotta point fingers at this individual. No, bruh. It's like, next time around, the thing is this, next time around you get canceled for some stuff, just apologize. A proper apology. Not no, oh, let me apologize, but also come up with all these excuses and in this story time, and then kind of, you know, throw on a little sad acting voice to make people feel bad for me. Ain't nobody there for that, bro. It's like, you just, at the end of the day, apologize, move on with your life. So, anyways.
Peaches, Antunes, Mari,
it's like,
and
you ain't
many
learned
others.
nothing from
But
this
because
situation,
the DMs
then
between me and Cindy
I don't know
were
what to
leaked,
tell you.
the simping allegations actually have some evidence for once. However, the allegations of me simping for Cindy are false. I can understand why someone would believe I was simping, especially if they didn't know me as a person. I'm gonna be real here. Me saying wanna see my cock, followed up by a picture of a chicken, or me commenting nice pussy when someone shows me their cat, are common jokes I've made multiple times with multiple different people. I can't believe I used the same cock joke on the same person twice. The only compliment I gave her was calling her Mamacita. Here's the audio clip.
Alright, Mamacita, I'll hit you up when I get home.
As you can clearly see, I was making a race joke, not actually trying to hit on her. When I do hit on women, I don't put on a voice like that. I can't believe people thought this was my attempt to sound I talk to both men and women like this. It's just how I joke around.
I believe the bigger issue here is less that he's a simp, though I get why people would laugh at all of this, and more with the fact that this is no way to handle a conversation with an alleged predator. sex jokes, creepy voice messages, and sleep calls. Like, seriously. The desperate texts a few minutes after starting the sleep call don't make it better. I can't blame people for their interpretation. You have a history of being like this with women and making them uncomfortable.
I also have ship
It
art
is
of-
something where I'm like, why do you feel that you need to make sex jokes towards women? It's something where, yeah, if you talk like that, the thing is this: if there are women that are cool with that type of sense of humor, that's something that you got to know about beforehand. You know, and I know people probably ask like, well, how am I supposed to know? Like, if I don't try, it's something where it's like, I guess if they try it out on you first, then okay, cool. But it's something where, you know, if it's awkward or it follows up, then it's all like, hey, like, I guess, yeah, maybe explain it to them. Like, this is how I joke around with people. I'm sorry if I offended you. I feel like Just a Robot has never said that. That's most likely why he done got fired from jobs. When you sit down and think about it, when you put who he is on the internet, put that in like a like 9 to 5 situation. So yeah, let's just paint out a scenario and things. So he goes, probably holding his phone like this or something. He's like, hey, want to see you know, I don't think I can, because, you know, YouTube and their, you know, ad sensitivity stuff, I can't say certain things, so I'm just gonna censor it out. BET censorship. So he's like, hey, want to see a picture of my chicken? Woman's all like, oh, what do you... Hurries up, flashes her phone. She's shocked. She don't know what's getting ready to happen. Realizes it's a chicken. Then she's all like, "Fam, that's not funny. Like, what kind of weird sense of humor is that?" And then he's probably sitting there arguing with the girl. He's like, and then he's trying to explain it to the manager in his way of, you know, making sure he gets off the hook. He's like, all I did was show her a picture of a chicken. He ain't explaining how the whole showing the picture of the chicken went about. All he's just saying is like, yeah, I showed her a picture of a chicken and she just started flipping out. I'm willing to bet money that's how he explained it. I'm willing to bet hardcore money that's how he explained it. Just so he can get off of the, you know, just, you know, I guess out of any trouble. But it's like, then once when they hear both sides of the story, and I'm like, yeah, you know, the thing is this: a story that involves multiple people, it's gonna have multiple sides. It ain't just gonna be a one-sided story. So yeah, and they heard what she had to say, put it all together, and it's like, okay, you know, we did our investigation, and yeah, you could go ahead and clock out. We ain't gonna have that weird activity at this establishment.
me and another YouTuber. It's Manga Common, who is a guy. It's Rule 63 versions of our avatars kissing in underwear.
Now, the whole world pretty much knows what I jerk off to.
I have no desire, nor romantic interest in getting together with Manga Common. If I had art like this commissioned of me and Cinny, oh my god, I would never be able to get out of this.
I think what he's missing here is that if he did this with her, it would be ship art between him and a self-proclaimed... Of course, people would have an issue with that. Not that it isn't weird to commission ship art of you and a colleague without letting them know in the first place. Especially when
he probably was just saying, and then with this part of the video, because he probably knows that his girlfriend's gonna sit down and watch the video and stuff, or he's gonna send it off to her so she can review the video, whatever the case may be. But he probably put that part in there for her. It's like, at the end of the day, I feel like that, yeah, if he was single, he probably, I feel like the response video would have been a lot. There have been some parts in the video that would have been different, and I feel like that part of the video would have been different, you know. So yeah, it's something where it's, the thing is this: there are many women across, yeah, it's because I don't know how many times I ain't seen like social media posts where they always be showing like these like female mugshots, and then they went down for some old crazy crime, and I'm like, I might jokingly say like, okay, like, you know, now let's hear out what they, but I'm like, nah, fam, I'm like, that girl's like, you know, she's arrested for like 15 different murders. I want no parts of that. I'm like, she ain't getting no defense video out of me. I'm like, I don't care how much of a soft-spoken voice she got. I'm like, no, she is crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I might jokingly say like, okay, like, you know, let's hear them out though. I'm like, yeah, they might have robbed 15 banks, burnt down 10 planets, and stole 100 cars since birth. But I'm like, let's hear them out. Let's hear why they. But I'm like, on some real life stuff though, I'm like, nah, fam. I'm like, put them in prison, at the bottom of the prison, and if there's a lower part of that part of the prison, put them in that part of the prison, lock the door, take the key, melt it down, have it where it's, I don't know, like it's dangling above the prison so where they can never reach it. I'm like, have it where they never see night or day again. They just locked off up in the cell, put them in the Green Mile, something, I don't know, Shawshank Redemption them, I don't know. They just don't need to be out in public. But anyways,
Admit in this video that this is something you're genuinely attracted to.
I developed a gender bend fetish at like 7 or 8, but that's because I watched Ranma 1/2.
I spoke to Carmen. He said that he wasn't uncomfortable when the art was made, but isn't comfortable with the fact that it was included within your video. And also putting this out here when nobody asked you to and without his permission. It's just strange.
I also said this to her in our interview, which was the first time I ever had a call with her.
Like, here's the thing, I'm way more sexist than I'm racist.
At least you're admitting to it.
What do you know? You're a woman.
I'm gonna be honest here, being sexist towards women, even if it's done in a joking way, is not a good way to get them to fall for you.
Having bad game doesn't mean you weren't trying.
As more and more DMs between me and other women got leaked, people started believing that I didn't simp for Cinny, but I was simping for every woman I've ever talked to. I heard some people saying, oh, maybe he just talks to every woman like this. The truth is, I talk to every person like this, both men and women. It's just how I joke around.
I don't think you had the intention to hook up with every single femme you spoke with like this, but I do think it's inappropriate to talk like this with every femme you know. It's weird and it's made people uncomfortable. If the way you're joking around is causing discomfort, why continue to do it?
Here's some friendly advice. Telling a woman, want to see my cock, and sending a picture of a chicken is not a good way to pick up chicks. If I truly believed it was a good way to pick up chicks, then I would have pursued every woman I sent this to romantically. But aside from one, I don't think I've pursued any of these women. Yeah, I did send this to my girl.
The truth is that I feel like he sends that whole joke out to thinking he's gonna break a barrier with them. But I guarantee you, I promise you, if a woman was like, oh, let me see the real thing, yeah, he's gonna 100% send it out. So he's saying that because he knew that, yeah, he never did. It's maybe he always knew he didn't have a chance with them, but he's one of those guys where he's like, I'm still gonna shoot my shot anyways, realize it ain't went nowhere. So of course he's gonna try to play the game like, oh, well, I wasn't trying to go after them in the first place. And it's like, fam, come on now. It's one of those things where it's like, you out here sending jokes like that. So that's the thing. Where I'm like, you look at the messages that I be having with women, I be having like my thing is this, if anything, I'll ask them a question like where it has us both thinking. I'm like, it's all like, it's one of those things. I'm like, who closes the bus after the bus driver gets off? I'm like, see, because that's the thing. I know there's like a little button underneath that the bus driver got to press and things to close the door. But I'm just saying, like, one of them like moments where we're just sitting down thinking about stuff. It's like, that's the conversation that I'm having. So it's something where, like all the women that I've ever met, I'm trying to think, have I ever had, I guess, like, if it goes down that route where it's going to be an inappropriate conversation, then yeah, as long as it's equal. But if it ain't equal, then yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, it's something where I know I've never went out, and the reason why I don't go out of my way to have no crazy conversation like that is because I don't know, I pay attention a lot, to what goes on in the world. So I know, like, that is something that is upsetting to most women, when you are like saying inappropriate stuff along those lines. It's like, yeah, it's one of those things where I guess for me, it's like, I have respect for people, men and women. I'm like, I definitely don't be saying stuff, and I don't know, maybe that's just how I was raised, or just I have a different way of joking around. But yeah, it's something where I'm like, with my friends, it's just, yeah, it's never been something where it's been along those lines. So yeah, it's just weird how he's like trying to defend that. I'm like, fam, there ain't no defense for that. It's like, that's the thing. He dug himself in a hole with this response video. It's something where with this video, it's like, fam, you could have just apologized and left it at that. Like, you're adding all this other extra stuff for no reason.
Girlfriend as a joke, but we talked for several months before we actually got together. I didn't send it.
She was the only one that actually gave you a chance. I'm like, I guarantee that she probably would have knew who you. I feel like there had to have been a point in time where he was hiding who he is towards her and stuff, and he probably still to this day is. That's probably why a lot of his videos were, dang, it's like, you sit down and think about it and stuff. It's like, yeah, it's like, if there's videos of his that he's been that he took down, because I know he took down that Confederate flag defense video. So yeah, it's one of those things where he's probably not telling her the full story, and he ain't telling her who he really is. And it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like more and more stuff come out, yeah, she's gonna realize, like, she probably already is thinking it right now, like, dang, how can I break up with this guy? Like, what could I possibly, like, do or say to break up? Yeah, it's definitely gonna be one of those situations where it's like, she ain't gonna want to hurt his feelings, but she is gonna break up with him one day. She's definitely gonna be the one to break up with him.
To her as a pickup line, I legitimately just thought it was funny.
So you admit that you used this joke on your current partner? Doesn't that conflict with the defense that you had no intent behind it because it's not a good way to pick up chicks? I wouldn't even go as far as to say with confidence that he wanted to hook up with her, but he sure wouldn't be making a good defense for himself if I was.
One of my thumbnail artists even sent out this voice clip.
What a cute little pussy.
Oh, is this my job?
I think it's pretty clear from my tone of voice that I'm making a joke. I'm not actually drunk. But here's the context as to why I sent that voice clip. Cat the cat spelled with a K instead of a C. Next time you leak something out, make sure to edit your reaction. Saying Lamau implies you thought it was funny, not creepy.
But also, question mark, surely implies that Cat the Cat, creative username, also found it was weird. This is gonna be harsh, but I think the truth is that they were laughing at you and not with you.
People have accused me of sending the chicken image to get out of sending my dick when someone says no to me. Then why is it that out of all the examples I have found, is there no one saying no to me? Pretty much every single questionable DM of mine has been...
If you then said that you say this to everybody, I imagine he done met more than, 3-4 people in his life. So it's like, if you talk like this and act like this with everybody that you meet and, carry conversations with and stuff, I'm like, yeah, show off. That reminds me of that scene in, dang, what's that movie called with Tom Hanks? And it was based on a true story, but it was that plane that Sully. It was that movie about that plane that crashed into the. It was like a lake or it was like a big body of water. I don't know if it was it considered. I don't think it was considered a lake, but it was overall a big body of water and stuff. But anyways, so there was a part. Sorry if I'm spoiling the movie for you guys, but I feel like I just need to say this part. So anyways, there is a part where they were in a courtroom. And they only showed the simulations where the plane could have properly landed at the airport and stuff. Because I think that's what had happened to the plane. Like some birds had flew in the engine, and that's what caused it to fall in a big body of water. So, but anyways... So then I think it might have been Tom Hanks or somebody. They asked, wait, it's been documented that you guys had did more simulation tests and things. So can you show all of them? And then that's when they showed they were crashing into buildings. They were crashing into other. So there was others where it was it was unsuccessful and things. That's pretty much what this is. It's you're only showing some where it's oh, okay, it's gonna help me out for this video. But I'm yeah, fam, show all the messages. And I guarantee, I promise you, somebody then challenged them to that. He most likely then deleted a lot of those messages, or he knows that he can't recover them. So those are just only ones that were successful in things. But yeah, it's man, come on now. It's one of those things where I feel like that Just a Robot has to be thinking along the lines he's making videos to people that don't understand stuff. It's he didn't spend all his life, or not life, but content creating a career pointing fingers at people saying, oh, you don't understand. And it's no, bruh, you don't understand. It's a lot of us, it's we're all at an educated level to where it's fam, we know how life works. We know how the internet works. Anybody that I guess unless you just recently created a social media account, if you done had a social media account for more than 5 years or whatever, and it's you guys sit down and think about it, right? I don't know how many friends you have across all your different social media platforms, because I know for me, I have friends that are on Twitter, and I have friends that are on Instagram, friends that are on Facebook, friends on YouTube, Twitch, blah blah blah. But anyways, it's you're I said, you're not only going to have it where it's you've been existing on the internet for this long and you only have 4 or 5 conversations. I'm fam, I've had 4 or 5 conversations this week. But I'm it's something where, yeah, it ain't gonna be 4 or 5 conversations over a time period. Even when I had called him out for his community being racist, it's was it I was just, let me just show 2-3 comments, and then, no, I'm showing all of that stuff. So, yeah, it's something where it's bro, you gotta remember, you're making videos for adults. It's kids ain't paying attention to stuff like this. They watching Cocomelon and Sesame Street. You're making videos for an adult. Act like you're making videos for an adult, and it's you're not making videos for people that just oh yeah, they were just born yesterday. But anyways,
been leaked, so there should be at least one image of my joystick. I'm not going to send a picture of my dick over the internet. Plus, I wouldn't want any of you males to feel inadequate.
Ew.
But of course, the big one is me falling asleep
this
on
is supposed
calls
to be
with
an
her.
apology
I'm going to be
video,
honest,
or
out of
whatever he
everything,
wants to
this was
call
the
it.
main thing that I didn't want to get leaked out. I have incredibly bad sleep insomnia. I have blackout curtains, and I often use different methods to help me sleep, such as melatonin, NyQuil, and more. I even have earplugs and use a fan as background sound. Talking to someone as I fall asleep, waiting for the pills to kick in, is one of the easiest ways to help me fall asleep. I could only call Cindy near the end of the day, when she and I were both off of work. It's not like I fell asleep while the—
So my thing is this, right? You had a girlfriend at the time of you doing this video, because you said that it's you know, like, she warned you beforehand. Why can't you not just call your girlfriend and told or told her that you're I'm having issues sleeping? I just, like I said before, it's like, you know, just a robot's girlfriend. She should find that very disrespectful, you know, to her. Maybe she don't care, but it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, she might not care now, but I feel like at some point in time she gonna get to thinking about it, and she gonna be like, yeah, that wasn't right. That wasn't right at all. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, she definitely gonna have a conversation with them, you know. But I've said it before. She's most likely on one of those like advice subreddits where she's trying to figure out how to get out of this relationship. She's like, how female 20 whatever break up with BF male whatever just a robot's age is, you know, ASAP. So yeah, he's a weird content creator. I ain't gonna say his name for protective reasons, but yeah, he's a weird content creator. He's been arguing with this random black guy for years. Like, it's something where man, I'm telling you, you know, if there's ever a time where that would be content. That would be some like good content. Like cause it's most likely gonna happen at some point in time. It's like, I don't want to put it out there. You know, I want to have respect for relationships, but I'm like, I feel like in order for me to have respect for a relationship, she obviously, the girlfriend, got respect for the relationship. Just the robot, on the other hand, yeah, it's something where I'm like, that ain't there. So, but oh man, it's like, that's something. Oh my, and then bro, imagine, oh my, like, no, so like, let's say for an example, right? I upload a random video and I'm like, oh yeah, special guest, and it's his girlfriend. Like, we're doing an interview talking about, oh yeah, it would be one of those situations where it's like Kendrick Lamar performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, you know, where it's like you got put like game over above or do something. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I would love to hear what she has to say about this. So she might not, because I think she's like, she don't want to get involved in the internet, and I'm like, I could see why. I'm like, you know, you dealing with somebody like just a robot, I can see why you don't want to be involved on the internet. She still wants to, you know, save her you know, I guess, like, because yeah, it's something where it's like, I guess if she were to get into content creating, yeah, she'll probably would want to hide that. I'm like, you don't want to tell nobody that you dated this guy. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back on the video. I'm just going off about a bunch of random stuff, but I would like to hear what she has to say about all this.
The call was still going or anything like that. Professor Dreadlock has talked to me as I fell asleep numerous times. Unfortunately, he was on a business trip. Last time he went on a trip, I did this with someone else, and that person did not come to the conclusion that it was a romantic or a thing. Because of my autism, I'm very blunt with the request I make. Falling asleep on call with someone was literally done to help me sleep. I was taking Adderall to finish up the Cine video, so that is one of the reasons why I had such a hard time passing out. I used to do what many people have referred to as sleepy time calls on Skype all the time. The only problem is Skype deletes your messages after 3 years, so I don't have the proof for that. Luckily, one of my old friends has agreed to give his testimony.
I appreciate that he has sleep issues. Being there. The issue here is how unprofessional it is to ask to sleep on call with someone facing predator allegations, and how bad it looks with the rest of the context. He also shows a screenshot during this section of his conversation with her, questioning on screen how he could fall asleep in 28 minutes on a call. The issue here isn't about whether you actually slept on the call.
I'm like, I guess, I don't know. I don't have sleep issues. I mean, there have been nights where I'm like, I couldn't sleep, so I'm like, yeah, it's just one of those, I'll find myself like falling asleep like 4 or 5 in the morning and things. But yeah, usually I just lay down and watch TV, you know, scroll through social media. What else? You know, I think, yeah, people might call it like brain rotten activities and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, might get up, record, or not record, but, well, yeah, there've been some nights where I've gotten up and record, but, no, work on some videos. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do. It's like, but, yeah, overall, it's like asking a pedophile to, you know, go and help me go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, it's something where, you know, you have to, like, it's not gonna make sense to most people, you know, that's just, it's weird, bruh. So anyways,
but that there was a clear established intent to based on the conversation. A roommate having a conversation with you as you pass out is an entirely different scenario to a person you just interviewed over sexual misconduct. It's not even worth humoring that defense with an explanation.
I almost did this as well with another person involved in this situation, and that is Romantic Goblin. I will admit, this is a weird and abnormal thing I do, but I don't do it in a romantic or sexual way. Even Cindy herself admitted she thought it was just me being autistic.
You know, like, how could he get caught in a cheating scandal or dumped by his girlfriend if nobody will believe it ever happened? And now you're acting uncertain that that was the case.
I didn't think it was at the time. At the time, I thought he was just being, like, weird. I didn't think it was, like, an actual pass. Like, I was assuming that he was, like...
You're smarter than you're letting on.
Because I just thought it was strange to say, because it's just not something you say.
Because you thought it was a flirt.
Not really, it's just...
Well, then why would it be strange?
Now she's trying to defend him.
I don't know, it's just not, like, a thing I hear people say very often.
So what else could it have been?
Just him being autistic? I don't fucking know.
Did you actually stay on the phone with him while he went to sleep?
I thought I was being a friend. I thought he was trying to be a friend of me.
Granted, she later changed her stance to the popular opinion, saying things like how she felt so violated by me.
As she said, it was weird, and I think if you can acknowledge that, then you can understand why people would be uncomfortable with the inappropriate comments made. And especially here and I hate this word, problematic nature of a personal relationship, including sleepy time calls, with someone that you are researching for a video over allegations. Yeah. Whether she was guilty or not, I still believe that you should not develop a personal relationship with someone you're interviewing over this kind of claim. It could lead to bias, it can be used against you, and ultimately it's just unprofessional.
Yes, I do find Cindy's avatar attractive, but 99% of the time, people's avatars look a lot more attractive than they do in real life. Even my robot avatar looks more attractive than me. I didn't know what Cindy looked like in real life at the time. I'm not going to hit on a woman that I haven't even seen before. Hopeless Peaches had an incredibly attractive avatar, but in real life she looked like an Albanorik from Elden Ring. Not the hot ones that ride on wolves, the ones that look like frogs. I never asked for a picture of what Cindy looked like in real life, and I never did a video call with her. I don't want people to believe that I was simping or cheating, but even if I can't convince any of you, there's at least one person who believes that I wasn't simping or cheating, and that's my girlfriend.
None of this changed the behavior you had with Jade Animations, though. You were attracted to her avatar and it led to you being creepy. You need to work on that. If I was in a relationship with someone and they were as weird about someone like Jaden Animations as you are, I would no longer be in that relationship. I don't think that constitutes cheating, if that makes you feel better about the whole thing, but I do think it's a major red flag. Yeah. And that comment about Peaches too, I don't know why you think it's alright to harass someone because they fucked up. It makes you look like a dick, and I wonder if you only said this because you thought you could get away with it. Peaches deleted their platform. I think that the audience were right to stop supporting them based on their mistakes. But I don't think it's cool to harass them when they don't even have a voice to defend themselves now.
But I know you guys aren't just here for this stuff about Cinny. You're also here
regarding... Yeah, his girlfriend, she's probably... The only reason why she probably believes him, again, Just a Robot has a way of, like, trying to perform scare tactics on people. But if not that, she probably knows, like, yeah, you're not capable of cheating. Even if it was, like, on some stuff where your mind's telling you to do so, Just a Robot, he don't come off as that type. He seems like the type of person that cheats on accident. Like, but he just can't purposely go out his way and, you know, just get with whatever girl he wants to get with. It's something where it's like, yeah, it's, you know, whoever his girlfriend is, it's probably something where she's, you know, she felt bad, and she's like, I know if I say no to this guy, again, that scare tactic stuff. So, you know, you overall, and I'm pretty sure he brought up long before they became a thing. She most likely already knew about his content creating career, watched his videos and stuff, because I know there's been times girls that I'm interested in, yeah, I tell them that I'm a content creator. So it's like, why would you hide something like that? You know, it's like, obviously they're gonna ask, like, oh, so what do you do on your free time or whatever and things, you know? So yeah, it's something where, yeah, then they've watched my videos. I imagine she probably watched his videos before they became a thing. And it's something where I'm like, yeah, I think any girl would be scared. It's it's like, so it's something where, yeah, if there's a video from some random woman coming out talking about I dated this content creator for all this time, and then it's like a blurred out image of just a robot, then we click and watch, and then she's like, oh yeah, I dated just a robot for this odd amount of years, and this was my experience, and she's just detailing all these like crazy events. Yeah, something where I'm like, hey, I predicted his downfall years ago. I feel like something like that would likely happen too, unless he does some scare tactics where he's like, you better not talk about me and things, because he probably would if he was threatening them guys at VidCon, talking about like, oh, he's like, it's not like I was like, or not like threatened, but he made that old weird remark like, oh, it's not like, because I think it was with that Molly, it was one of those content creators, but anyways, yeah, he made that comment where he was like, it's not like I got like a, or he's like, don't make it seem like I have like a gun, or he said something weird. I can't remember word for word what he said, but I'm pretty sure it's in one of these videos where where they show his messages, and he made some old weird comment to, I think it was somebody that was going to VidCon, but anyways, yeah, it's again with his girlfriend. I'm like, man, she's gonna have like, I feel like that's gonna be the like final nail in the coffin for just a robot. But anyways,
the allegations involving the image of Jade Animations lifting up her shirt. First of all, yeah, I always had a thing for Jade Animations' avatar. I've never kept that fact hidden. I even asked her out on a date at the end of my first Daft Pina video, and then she immediately uploaded a video saying that she was asexual. Jesus, I've never been rejected that hard. But of course, the more important part about all of this is the age of the person who drew this picture for me. A document was made roughly a week after I got involved in the cine drama. Basically, a person who I will be referring to as K was in one of my Discord servers. According to their document, they were in a VC with me, and I made a request for my avatar to be S.A.ing Jaden Animations. Then everybody yelled at me that there was a minor in the call, and I lowered the request to just Jade Animations lifting up her shirt. And Kay, who was 17 at the time, was the one who drew it for me. The most damning claim in this document doesn't have any evidence to support it. To my knowledge, the call wasn't recorded, and I don't think I or most people would remember what they said in a specific VC over 4 years ago. I don't know what I said, but I don't think I said that. I'm pretty sure this was just put in the document to make me sound as much like Cinny as possible. My best guess is I was making a video about Jade Animations, and I wanted something to be used in a thumbnail, and Kay offered to do it for me so she could get the art role. Let's be honest.
Why is that even okay? I don't know of this Jade Animation situation, but it's like, regardless of whether they were underage or over the age, why are you asking for inappropriate art of them if they didn't give you consent to have that inappropriate art? That it's one of those things where I'm like, you have to understand what's wrong with that. It's like you out here asking for inappropriate art of a person where it's like, yeah, if you're asking that person, that's one thing. But it's like, if you're asking other people to draw that over another, yeah, that's something where I'm like, nah. You definitely got issues. And I'm like, what was that one like viral like clip on TikTok that was going off? It was like a clip of Dr. Phil, and they were like, this is your man, like this is who you. It's like thinking some woman. I like, yep, I'm gonna stand by his side. I like, man, if that ain't just a robot and his girlfriend right now, yeah, they definitely. There's gonna be a content creator. They like a YouTube version of Dr. Phil. Just a robot and his girlfriend, they're gonna 100% have an episode. I guarantee, and I promise you that.
Honest here, this picture of Jaden looks like it would be more at home in a thumbnail than in someone's wank bank.
To save some time, I'm not going to bother talking about how weird it is to be obsessed with a real person who doesn't know you. I already made a point of criticizing his behavior towards Jaden in the last video. If the victim's claim is to be believed, he was made aware that a minor was in the call and still went on to request provocative art of Jaden. If not, he still didn't check the age of someone who he asked to draw provocative art. Both scenarios are bad. The victim's scenario, though, would show more negligence than his. In his scenario, he argues that this may have been for a thumbnail, but the chat between him and the victim doesn't seem to reflect that. Quote, I hope to God this is worth it, have fun jar, sweating emoji. Even if the intention was to use it for a thumbnail, I believe that their messages implies that he was still making questionable comments in the call. His response, that's hot, also doesn't seem to match with his story. Doesn't seem to line up with this being a thumbnail.
And he said that he don't remember a conversation from 4 years ago. I'm like, I might be at heart of remembering stuff and things. I might not remember word for word, but my thing is this. If I have a conversation with, like, yeah, there's conversations I remember from, like, years ago, even from when I was a kid. I'm like, I remember conversations I had when I was in elementary with people. So, yeah, it's something where I feel that he purposely wanted to forget that conversation. But, yeah, he most likely remembers. It's one of those things where it's like, I guess we would have to, like, see his, like, face. And that's, you know what? And it's like, now thinking about it, when you see, like, how many videos he's done without revealing his face and who he is, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like if we had, like, one of those people that could read a person's body language if they're telling a lie, he most likely told a lie there. Yeah, you can't really, I guess, tell just based on a person's voice, but yeah, and it's, or I guess, like, if you can, then yeah, and that you still can't tell, that he's probably just, yeah, a really good liar. But yeah, it's something where I'm like, yeah, my thing is this. I feel like a lot of people, they can remember conversations, moments of their life. They remember a lot of different things. I feel like something like that, you're going to remember, especially if you have an obsession with this person. You ain't going to forget no stuff like that. So, yeah, it's something where I'm like, nah, I ain't believing in that, So I'm like, yeah, let's see you do that, talk about that same situation, but, revealing who you are and actually showcasing, because that's something I've always have kind of been on with Just a Robot. But, yeah, I feel like, to catch him up in his lies, I'm all like, yeah, why are you fidgeting around and looking around like that when, you trying to just talk? I'm like, just talk, bro. But anyways.
Yeah, that's that. And doesn't reflect well on him with it in mind that he didn't ask for this person's age and they were not an adult.
For me, several months later, they told me that they were 17 at the time they made it. When I saw this message, I didn't know how to respond. It was just before Christmas, so I got ready for the holidays and forgot all about her message. So as you can see, they told me their age after they made it.
How do you forget about... If that was literally the next message you sent them, okay, that's something. Again, I feel like Just a Robot, he has to be thinking that he's talking to kids. Messages, I guess, to explain it, if that's what the case may be, and we're talking to kids, and you don't know what messages look like, when a person sends you a message, that message stays there, all right, unless they unsend the message, then the message disappears. I don't know if that's a thing that's allowed on Discord, but when you open up said message, you are looking at it. You can't, like, oh, I forgot to respond to a message that I'm looking right at. Yeah, that's something where I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. I can see why a lot of people call this a horrible response. I mean, it overall is. I was just more so on the apology, but just, actually going back and listening to stuff and, yeah, it's like, fam, you out here talking about stuff that it's like, it's just, again, digging yourself in that hole where it's like, why, bruh? Just why?
Made the art. According to their document, they didn't want to come out about this sooner because I was a big, scary, and intimidating YouTuber. But the thing is, I was getting cancelled about 4 years ago during the Prismate Luke and Toby drama, and that was only a few months after they made this art for me, so that would have been the perfect time to release this. The people I was dealing with back then were cartoonishly uncharitable. She really missed out on a big opportunity.
In the screenshot he shows here, he says, "Oh my god, you made one of Jaden for me." They then mention their age and the motive for making the art. There is no mention here of a thumbnail, and he refers to the art specifically as... So his earlier comment about this belonging in a thumbnail and not a wank bank doesn't seem to hold up. If we're going off just what he's admitted and shown screenshots of, he asked a 17-year-old to draw Jaden animations. He didn't know their age, and he didn't ask. That is a ridiculous amount of negligence for a man entering his 30s. You were the adult. It should be on you to check the age of people you're asking to create what you refer to as porn. On the latter, you mentioned that they could have called him out a few months after creating the art because he was being cancelled.
And why is that even a conversation that you're having with somebody, regardless of, like, even outside of Jaden animation, but you having this conversation with somebody regardless of their age? I still feel like it's a weird conversation to have. It's like, I know people might not care about that. I feel like that is something to care about. I know I wouldn't want nobody having no conversations like that about me behind closed doors. But it's like, then again, I can't stop nobody, but I do feel like that's an invasion of somebody's privacy. It's like, the thing is this, because I think who was it that got caught up in some like AI? Well, there was the one video where I seen, but yeah, that guy, he was it was like of minors and stuff where he had like some explicit AI art and things. It was like this body cam video that I reacted to, but I really remember before that where it was a content creator where somebody was out there making like fakes of, because I think that's what they call them, like deep fakes or something like that, where it's it's like their face, but it's usually in a part of an explicit video and stuff. And yeah, it's like anybody would trip over some stuff like that. It's like, don't nobody want to see that for them. So it's one of those things where people need to understand that is an invasion of a person's privacy, even if it is like some like, oh well, it's not actually. I feel like Just a Robot would say some old stupid stuff like that. He was like, well, it's not of them. It's of their profile picture. It's of their art, or it's of their avatar. It's like, so it ain't really them. It's like, still, it is an invasion of a person's privacy. All right, you should not be having no conversation like that behind closed doors. It's weird, bruh. So I'm like, you might not see it as weird, but it's like, I guess like if you had, all right, so you know what, let's just paint out this scenario. Let's say I was going around asking for some explicit art of your girlfriend. I'm like, oh, somebody, can you draw like, he's gonna feel a certain way about that. So it's like, you can't have this backwards energy where it's like, oh, it's okay if you do it, but it's a problem when other people want to do it. So it's like, you gotta have that same energy with all stuff. You can't just have it where it's like, oh, well, it only works for me but not for you. No, that's not gonna work. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if this Jaden animation person, if they know of him now, but if they do, that's something where I'm like, I definitely would reach out about like, hey, stop talking about me. Don't ever mention me again in your videos. Don't have me in your videos. None of that stuff. If you're not willing to do that, then yeah, if it's one of those things where I'm like, I guess like if legal actions can be taken against it, then do what you got to do. But yeah, it's something where I'm like, anybody would be uncomfortable in some stuff like that. Even I remember when he made a thumbnail where it was like we were like sitting all close to each other, looking like we about to kiss or something, and I'm like, why is he? He got like, you just got like a weird mindset when it comes to that type of stuff. But I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, nobody like a part of my circle, and I know I didn't ask you to have me looking like that, and I didn't even want you making videos about me, so why would I want that as a thumbnail? So yeah, it's something where it's like, yeah, he might not care what I have to say. He's gonna be all like, well, I'm just gonna do whatever. I don't listen to nobody and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, and that's why you're in the situation that you're in right now. But anyways,
should be obvious that this doesn't hold up. They made that art for a role in your server, and it's clear that they were a fan with no intention at the time of calling it out. For a lot of victims, it's hard to immediately recognize a problem or voice it. And even then, it's a lot of pressure to call someone out on a public platform over something like this. No drama you've been in before this has been near in scale, and it's a lot easier for them to put this out here when you're being called out for being inappropriate with women and racist. What you did here was wrong, and you should have asked them how old they were. I don't think you tried to them or something like that, but I do think you should have known better. He does apologize for this, but I feel like he watered the issue down so much before he did so. No. Yeah,
it's like this part of the video is something where I'm like, that's why I believe that he just wasn't being serious in this video. It's like, you out here talking about something that's not serious, a part of something that is serious. Yeah.
No, I am not talking about this. Okay, fine, but only because it involves weird behavior towards another minor.
The next big allegation against me is kind of like the first one. I sent this image to someone who was apparently a minor at the time. I sent it because I honestly thought it was funny. Like, I think you guys can see the comedic nature of this image. Here's all my DMs with this person. As you can see, we barely spoke, and they sent me some inappropriate stuff, like a video about...
And that's the thing where it's like, it's one thing if you, like, because I can't stop a minor from following me. So yeah, there might be jokes or things I might say where, usually a minor shouldn't, because I know I might have my moments where, I might be again, raging or crashing out on the game, might say some things where it's like, like, dang, it's like you gotta remember the kids is watching. So I might have my Michael Jordan moment for those that know. But yeah, it's like at the end of the day, you can't really stop a kid from following you on social media, especially if you're like growing a lot throughout the ranks. But I feel like there's a difference between when you post something publicly and when you post something privately. So like it's something where, if I guess like, I don't know, like I feel like a parent would see what I would post or see it, or even if they see a video that I'm reacting to. And it's like, it's like I again, it's like I guess like if my stuff gets age restricted, then that'll be it. But I mean, yeah, that's the thing though, where it's like, that kids is going to be on the internet. So it's just something where it's like, you really got to set an example. And that's something where it's like, because you got to think about it like this, where it's like, I guess like nobody might not, or people might look at this situation, might not think anything of it. But like, let's say this kid, whoever this kid is, they grow older and then they one up the weird conversation and then they end up getting canceled. They were like, what was the origins of all of this? I'm like, oh yeah, well, I used to have weird conversations with this guy named Just a Robot. That stuff, it's always, the thing is this, people don't be paying attention to that. It's always going to come full circle back to the like source of the whole problem and stuff. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, you might not look at it as a serious thing, but it's like, as it goes on, it's like, it is going to be a serious thing. And that's just not something to a conversation to have with a minor. But anyways,
Kronk judging the size of your dick. I acknowledged their age near the end of the chat because I just found out what their age was around this time. However, I did not check their age at the time, so to comedic autism, I am sorry for not double checking your age before sending you this image.
That's twice he hasn't checked how old someone is before sending them something inappropriate. I don't know what's so comedic about that image, but I'm happy for you. I guess. I think a lot of what I said prior could be applied here, but I'd really like to get through this section without putting out a soundbite of me saying or so I'll spare everybody the time I would otherwise spend repeating the problem here.
I think there's only one more big allegation against me that I think I need to go over. And that's the stuff surrounding VidCon 2023. First of all, I'm a little shocked.
What about the racism, the harassment? I'm trying to think of some other stuff. I feel like them were like, some allegations where he probably has addressed it in his videos and he's just downplayed it. But it's like, fam, people are calling you out for that too. So it's something where it's like, you need to apologize. Again, if I'm put out of the list and you don't want to apologize to me, just properly apologize to everybody else that you've wronged throughout your career. But anyways.
They held on to this for over a year. Yeah, the ArtCC wasn't planning anything against me. Nothing at all.
It wasn't held on to. Ponder's video, which made their experience with you at VidCon public, while you remained anonymous, mind you, released just prior to the next VidCon after an outrageous amount of work from them, there was no rhyme or reason to that release, and it was much prior to you being called out for everything else we've discussed in this video. So if it was a plan to get you gone, then why did it come out before the allegations, and why are you anonymous? You went around talking about what happened to other creators in private before her video came out. That was then passed on, and after she put out her video, it wasn't hard for people with the context to know it was about you. That's how it became public. Not a single person in our group had the plan to put it out there. So we did expect you would. I was done with you after I said all I needed to during our Twitter spat. You made a mistake. That's why it's out there. There's no conspiracy here. Once it came out, of course creators in our circle would address it. The spat we had was public, and people put the pieces together quick. I'm not going to stay silent after that.
Basically, just before VidCon started, I showed off my new thumbnail for my Spoctor video. Obviously, it had an EDP joke in it because, well, I love making jokes about EDP. Bro is the most exposed man on the internet. And Spoctor had the of a 13-year-old on his flash drive, and EDP went to go meet up with a 13-year-old. So that was the thought process behind the joke. People in the ArtCC had an issue with this.
You can just say my name or show the screenshots. You were quick to name every other creator in this video. Who are these people in the ArtCC?
And eventually I came to the conclusion that the problem was that people would come across this thumbnail and immediately assume I was comparing him directly to EDP. So I decided to change it.
Oh, you came to that conclusion.
Now granted, they don't seem to have the same problem with other clickbait titles and thumbnails about me, but I guess it's one of those rule for thee but not for me kind of things.
What aboutism? Really? I knew you. You were in my private circles. Of course I would hold the people I'm close to a higher standard than random creators I literally know nothing about.
But I still thought we were on friendly terms and we would meet up at VidCon.
How the fuck did you come to the conclusion that we were on friendly terms? You said we weren't friends. I removed you from all of my private spaces and then blocked you everywhere. What was friendly about any of that?
I sent this inappropriate joke to Mal, and she did
not. This was malware. This was the one where he was okay, because I was kind of stuttering and fumbling, so I'm like, I think I've collected myself now. So he wanted to meet up with her. She said no. Then he was like, okay, well, don't try to change it or have it or make it seem like, look, I'm stuttering again. He might overall show the messages, but it was something along the lines where it was or I got you cornered and I have a gun or something like that. It was just some old weird message, but anyways, the message might get shown here, but yeah, it's like I'm not good at I said like how I have like selective memory. I remember some things, but I don't remember everything. All right, like I'm trying to think, what did I do yesterday? I don't remember what I did yesterday. So that's just how my brain works. But I guess I don't use it, if I've done something bad, I'm like, oh, I got bad memory. That's why I did that. So anyways.
Take very kindly to it. I should note that I was a bit high at the time. Weed is illegal in Texas, but in California it's very easy to get. But the bigger issue was me constantly pushing to meet up with her. Eventually I told her that I'll leave her be because I had no more plans to meet up with her.
Please no, I won't be like, yeah. He's like, if you see Ryan got it. Yeah, so this is like, he said something where it's all like, it was just weird, but anyways, but yeah, that was the message that I'm talking about, this message right here. But anyways,
because she didn't want to see me. Now, I did later apologize for this, but unfortunately it came a little bit too late. Admittedly, I should have stopped after she said no the first time.
I mean, yeah, you should have taken a no, and these were inappropriate texts. You kind of said all I needed to here.
I was walking around at VidCon doing stuff at different panels. Eventually, I got hungry. I bought some ice cream, I sat down to eat it, and then I heard Ponder's voice and looked to my left, seeing that she was sitting right next to me. So I shook her hand, revealed who I was, she exclaimed, "Oh my god," and I walked away. I thought it was funny. Ponder described this interaction as a lot more creepy than it really was, adding things like me squeezing her hand and other stuff like that. Or that I was laughing maniacally as I walked away. I did laugh, but it wasn't until I was inside.
I, for one, think she had a reasonable amount of discomfort at this. She knew of your conversation with Mally, and we'd spoken about the issues I had with you. You came up to her without letting her...
That's the thing, too, where I'm like, if I have issues with somebody, and yeah, let's just say, somehow everything lines up, and I just so happily by random sit near this person, if I see that, I'm like, oh, I'm like, I don't want to be bothered or even in the same area as them, so I'm gonna get up and walk away. But I'm not gonna walk up now like, oh, let me have a creepy interaction with them and stuff. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, I don't believe, like, the more and more I hear this story, I don't believe that you just, I went and got some ice cream and then I just so happily sat near a YouTuber that I have issues with or a content creator that I have issues with. And then, yeah, that's like, now I see this opportunity where it's like, I can grab their hand and be all like, I'm just a robot. It's like, yeah, bro, it's like even me reenacting it comes off as weird. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just don't believe that, like, you just buy. And then even with the other situation, I think they said the next year's VidCon event, you just so happily sat next to them again, and it's like that you're like following them. Yeah, nah. And he's looking at it, it's like, well, if they ain't got it on camera, then therefore it didn't happen. It's like, bruh, it's funny. It's like him and his evidence, and then he lacks evidence when it comes down to stuff. But anyway,
I know who you were, grabbed her hand out of nowhere, and then dropped it on her when she was trapped in the situation. From your perspective, I can see why you wouldn't see the events the same way. She's a short, petite woman that you knew. You are tall, work out, and were a stranger that grabbed her out of nowhere. But of course she would feel less safe than you. You can't tell someone that the way they felt didn't happen, even if you don't have the same perspective.
She talked about this interaction literally a year later and drew me as a elf boy for some reason. She kept me anonymous, of course. A bit odd that my anonymity was important until I was getting bashed. I'm confused as to what the allegation is here. It's just a handshake. I didn't put my arm around her and say the N-word.
It's not an allegation, first off, because you admit it happened. even if you dispute the intensity of the situation. She spoke about an experience that made her uncomfortable and left you anonymous. You caused it to become public that she was talking about you.
Right, so with that out of the way, how did this whole damn thing become public? Essentially, it was kind of a game of telephone because when it happened, Jar himself had told Leo Convoy about what transpired at VidCon. And after that, from what I understand, Leo told Kumo, and then Kumo was the one to bring it up publicly in interviews. First in Himpleton's stream, and then again in Chud Logic's stream. And what do you know? Not a single ArtCC girlie was involved.
People in the audience found it horrific that you approached her in that manner and completely disregarded the boundaries established by the people in our group.
People have claimed I cheated on my girlfriend by doing this, even though we got together after this interaction occurred, and I think a handshake is one of the most unromantic things you can do with a person. I don't think this is sexual assault. It's just two hands touching.
Who the fuck said it was? Who in our group, who in our circle, who was involved in that situation ever said it was?
I wasn't hunting the others down at VidCon. If I was, I would have just stayed there with Ponder. I knew she was friends with them, and I knew they were going to meet up. Basically, the allegation about me hunting the others down at VidCon has no proof backing it up. In fact, all the proof seems to contradict that claim. I sat next to Ponder by complete accident. I wasn't going to pass up on that opportunity. Then there was another allegation about me hunting them down at VidCon 2024. From the video evidence I have seen, the video footage...
So it's like a person makes it clear they don't want nothing to do with you. You're not in contact with any of those people. Yeah, all right, maybe like, what, one? But it's like, if you know you got issues with that other person, I'm like, yeah, I could think back on times where when I was in school, and there would be like friends of mine that were chill with people that I wasn't really all that cool with. I'm not gonna be all like, oh, let me go and start up some stuff, or be like, oh, I feel like my presence has to be there because of... No, I'm all like, all right, you do what you gotta do, you hang out. It's one of those things where I'm like, I guess like with me, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, no, you gonna choose a side and, all this other stuff. It's something where I'm like, if you want to hang out with that person, you very well can go hang out with that person. I'm like, I got my own issues and things to be worried about. So you find yourself hanging out with that individual more, then I'm like, hey, then it's one of those things. I'm like, you do what you got to do. All right. But yeah, it's something where I'm like, oh no, let me go and I can't pass up on an opportunity to. Yes, you can. You very well could have passed up on an opportunity to talk to this person, but it's like, nah. Instead, you decide to approach them just being weird. So yeah, and then it's like you're saying it with the disguised voice, because I guess like, yeah, there were other people that was there saying that he's going around talking with an accent and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you made sure of it that they didn't know that you was there and things. So yeah, it's something where I find it weird. And it's like, you out here, like, if a person's gonna be there, and it's like, oh, let me, for some reason, sit in this area where I imagine that, based on that screenshot that they showed of the VidCon, like, where it took place at, that looked like a decent-sized place. It's like, yeah, my thing is this, you could have went any and everywhere. You don't have to be around them people. So, yeah, it's something where I'm like, nah, bruh, if people are calling you out for being weird and creepy, because just like, you out here doing weird and creepy stuff, don't be surprised. But anyway.
Shows them running or hiding from someone who is allegedly me, but they don't show me in any of their video footage. There's not one single shred of evidence that I was looking for them. Sure, I was keeping an eye out for Ponder. If I saw her, I was just gonna say, hey, did you see Akumu's new video on you? And then walk away. And that was about it. If there was video evidence of me running up the escalator to catch them, or chasing them around at panels, that would for sure make me look very creepy. But just for the sake of argument, let's take their word on it. Let's say I was hunting them down at VidCon and chasing after them. Then what was I gonna do when I caught them? Shake their hand again? Sorry, but I'm gonna keep going to VidCon. I'm not looking for you guys, and I hope you guys aren't looking for me. We can both enjoy it separately.
First, why would you lie about this? And second, in what world would we lie about this? I don't think this is worse than what Ponder said you did. And you admitted to that. Why would you not take this on the chin and admit fault and move on? We have video footage.
Oh really?
I think so. I think what he's more so looking for, Just a Robot, is he wants to see himself like caught in 4K, you know, staring at you guys. And I guarantee and I promise you, if you guys would have shifted the camera to him, then yeah, then that's when he had been like, you know, checking his phone. Phone probably would have been upside down. Then he's just, you know, kind of looking around at things, holding up stuff, just, you know, looking at it. So that's, yeah, so it's something where, and then, yeah, I guarantee and I promise you, you guys posted about it in the video that he's gonna be all like, well, he was like, all I was doing was just looking at stuff. I wasn't paying attention to you guys. Yeah, it's something where it's like, okay, but why are you in the area? You know, it's something where, yeah, I've always have kind of noticed this weird behavior with him and his fans. I just even remember where one of his fans, they made a video about me talking about like, oh, we're always gonna watch your every move, TMossBoss. So that's like the stalker allegations. I'm like, fam, I've had my fair share of dealing with his stalkerish fans, and even Just a Robot himself. Not only like some real life stuff, but yeah, overall, I'm like, the thing is, the stalking allegations, yeah, you is not beating that, bro. You's definitely not beating that.
Everybody else speaks. Hide your face. Avoid it. Are you protecting me?
Why would we fake a sudden reaction like this for footage that I didn't even know we had until a few days before my video came out? Like, literally, I forgot this was on film. I probably have DMs to prove it. But further on that, why would we fake a sudden reaction like this when there was no intention to put your name out there for the VidCon events and you were left anonymous in the only video anyone in our group made talking about our experience with you the year before? Does my reaction look fake? Honda was filming for a VidCon video like the one she made in 2023. This video still isn't out yet, even though VidCon 2024 was in June, if that provides some reassurance that this wasn't held onto. This event just happened to be caught on camera, and when she addresses the events in the part of the recording she clearly had the intention to actually include within her video, she refers to you as that creator, the creeper, and with gender-neutral pronouns.
Update, we are still avoiding that creator.
Just made eye contact with it. We're not succeeding.
This is why you run. This is why you run away.
We walked right past him.
You like the guy with like
the Captain America shirt.
Oh, that's what he's wearing? Okay.
This is him.
Yeah, I saw the picture and immediately forgot what he looked like.
Oh my god.
See, I did allude to what if the creeper was... and then, oh no, I summoned them.
You manifested.
I'm so sorry. What have I done?
She clearly still had the intent to keep you anonymous. Let's look at the facts here. We said that you didn't take no for an answer from Mally. That was true. We said that you approached Ponda, grabbed her hand, and then revealed who you were. That was true. We said that you admitted that you followed me in a pharmacy. That was true. We haven't lied about anything. But your angle is that the recorded event of someone in our group noticing you as you start to walk behind us didn't happen. It's crazy convenient.
Just with that whole, like, you know, because it with the situation with the streamers, it was like, I think it was Senna, Valkyrie, Emiru, Emily, and then I think it was another person named Rosie, where that guy was like following them, being all weird, then started threatening their life. That's why I'm like, you know, a lot of the times, like, when people, because that's the thing where it's like, you can't really, I guess, like, I don't know, like, in this day and age, it's like, people know where you are, know, like, they gon', I guess, like, try to do something, like, I know with me, it's like, I follow, rap culture a lot, and you hear stuff like that, it's like, somebody posts their location, then, yeah, then it's like, you know, people are gonna, like, go there and try to do something to them and things, so, I guess, like, I don't know, you shouldn't have to hide who you are at events, and I imagine it is gonna be pretty difficult. It's like, you get popular, and then there's like, oh my god, look, there's that, creator, and then there's somebody there that got issues with you, then, yeah, you know, it's something where it's like, it's, you know, if that person, I guess, can't be mature about it, and then just be like, you know, okay, I know if I approach them, it's gonna be a problem, so let me just go on about my business and stuff. Yeah, it's like, I don't know what's so hard about that, you know, I don't know what's so hard to just, about being a mature person, but that's the thing with Just a Robot and his, audience, it's like, I don't see them doing those stuff, I don't see them being mature, so, yeah, it's just, you know, it's weird, you know, you following around people and things, and it's like, yeah, you got multiple, the thing is this, you got multiple witnesses saying something about you, and it all like falls in the same category of you being weird and stalking them. How do you think most people are gonna look at that? So it's like, it's something where I just like what Harley said, I don't think that's a thing that you'll fake, like that reaction and stuff that they had. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's something where, I just don't think nobody would go through extensive troubles of faking that. And I know people will probably be all like, oh, you probably just only saying that just because you don't get along with just a robot. You don't like just a robot, whatever the case may be. But anyways, it's like, even if I feel like I was on the outside looking in, like, let's just say if I was just a random person watching that, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of odd to go through. I still would say the same thing, that would be odd to fake some stuff like that. So yeah, I just don't think that, you would fake that. And let's just give you the benefit of the doubt, where it's like, oh, you just so happen to be there at the same time. It's like, well, fam, it's like, I imagine that you've seen them. You ain't gonna just be like, oh, I'm just standing around and just, just looking and like, oh, is that such and such? Oh, I'm just still looking. Like, no, bruh. You gonna know somebody when you know what they look like. You gonna see them, and it's like, ain't gonna be some stuff where it's all like, oh, I'm just gonna so happily just always be in the same areas that they're at and stuff. Yeah, that's weird. Now I'm like, that's just some weird stuff, man. So that's how I look at it. It's like, yeah, you might want to say like, oh, well, I wasn't doing this, or I was just trying to get something to eat or do. Nah, bro, you was just being weird. Okay, so stop trying to fight around it or fight it. You were being weird, bro. So.
The one thing you claim didn't happen is the one we don't have a chat log of you confessing to already. In the recording, you can literally hear us mention the shirt you were wearing at the time. Would you like to say that wasn't what you were wearing? If so, surely you have to ask how we knew that. And beyond that, how we would be able to spot you in a crowd. And just to set the record straight, you didn't chase us up the escalators. If that makes you look any better. Here's the full order of events. We were in a line for an attraction when you saw us in the first floor convention hall. We got out of that line, and then you started to follow us out into the main entrance area with what I'd describe as a fast-paced walk. We then got on the escalator up to the second floor in an attempt to avoid you. You did not follow us up. I believe that you didn't follow us up because you didn't have a creator pass. You need one to get to the second floor. I would assume you only had a community pass, but I could be wrong there. If you'd like to post a photo of a creator pass, if you did actually have one, that's fine with me. Either way, you didn't follow us up the escalator. You ask what would have happened if you did get a chance to talk to us. I have no idea, to be honest.
I know.
Because it didn't happen. It probably just would have been an awkward interaction where I tell you to fuck off. Even if you didn't have anything planned and you were just gonna...
What? I don't even know what just happened. I'm like, that's crazy for that to even pop up. But
say hi. I don't want to talk to you.
As much as they say that I'm paranoid, I think they're really the paranoid ones. I just wanted to meet up with them at VidCon, and all of this happened.
Wait, but I thought you said that you had no interest in talking to us. Surely him admitting this is enough to establish his motive for following us through the convention hall. None of this happened because you wanted to meet us, though. It happened because you were a bad friend to me. And my friends, people I care about, took my side and said they didn't want to spend time with you with that in mind.
I won't lie, this whole drama has not been fun for me to go through. I joined the losing side.
To stop being friends with somebody over some criticism, I'm like, fam, that's just something that friends do. It is crazy. It's like, let Harley have done something where you felt that some criticism needs to be passed on. It's like, why would it have been, again, it's just one of those, like, just backwards behaviors that just the robot is on, where he's like, oh, it's like, it's okay, I criticize you, but you just can't criticize me. I could do something to you, but you just can't do that same thing to me. I find that weird.
I'm in a big drama, and the people I joined tried to sabotage me and destroy me. If it wasn't for my girlfriend's support, I don't think I would have been able to come back as soon as I did. I was thinking about giving up, but then she told me that plenty of other YouTubers have gotten way more backlash than me, and they haven't given up. Turkey Tom, The Quartering, Blair White, Seth the Programmer, Illumations, Tipster, Nostalgia Critic, Killer Keemstar, Vosh, Kraut, and even more.
I thought at the start of this video that you could only blame yourself. Yeah. Now the people involved tried to sabotage and destroy you? Okay. I'm getting mixed messages.
I've seen multiple YouTubers get less backlash than me and give up, but I think I'm going to stay. However, I'm going to take a long hiatus. I'm only taking a hiatus from uploading videos, but I'm going to keep on working on videos just as much as I always have. So once I come back in August, I'll have plenty of videos to upload. My channel hasn't been doing so hot all of 2024, so I think it's time I take a step back and re-examine everything.
Hiatus just isn't enough. It's too little too late. If you do want to have a platform, then there's a lot of correction and learning to do. Yeah. But to be blunt, I don't think that you should have a platform anymore with all of this out there. Some of these mistakes are too far to defend, or to ignore, especially if you intend to remain in commentary.
I want my content to be more consistent across all of my channels. I also think taking a break from YouTube would not only be a good thing for my mental health, but also because it has changed so much. It's not YouTube anymore, it's the gay love child of TikTok and Twitch. I've seen so many YouTubers say they're going to take a break, only to not do so, and then they mess up a lot. So I'm going to try to avoid making the same mistakes as them. Trust me, I wanted to make this video longer, I wanted to debunk more allegations against me, but if I make this video too long, well, people aren't going to check it out. The bigger I get on YouTube, the more haters I'm going to get. So I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that people are going to believe things about me that are untrue, just like a lot of big YouTubers have to deal with.
My drama is what Dream has to deal with every day of his life? Ah!
Getting backstabbed by people I was trying to help, and so much more. I just need to take a step back.
I feel like, again, you know, a good old-fashioned just a robot scare tactic. This part of the video I never understood. I was like, you're out here trying to start stuff with people, and I think overall that's just what he's trying to do, is just make sure that the beef and the drama and all that stuff stays alive. And that's why I'm like, I guess to anybody out there that you know, like, if you've have issues with just a robot, like, overall, he makes a video about you, because I think that was the last video he was working on. It was gonna be about me. Don't know if that video will ever come out. I mean, if it does, it's something where I'm like, I'm not worried about it, not bothered. And I'm like, fam, you got a lot more problems on your hand than me still existing on YouTube. So it's something where I feel like, yeah, you know, if he is watching any of the videos that I am doing on him, like these reaction videos, and that he's hearing out the stuff that I'm saying, yeah, I can imagine he's gonna have a good old-fashioned crash out in one of his videos. But I mean, if not, then it's just gonna be the same. It ain't gonna be no different than any other TMossBoss video. It's kind of like you know exactly what his videos are. So if you guys remember when they did that remake of The Lion King, but it just felt like it was just the same exact movie, I feel like that's what another just a robot video about TMossBoss is gonna be. I'm like, it's not gonna be anything different. It's just gonna pretty much be the same thing. Words is just gonna, you know, be kind of placed differently throughout the video. Might have some, but it's like, what new things are you gonna be able to talk about? I think I think so. That was the one thing that he was gonna talk on, was when I had called him a pedophile, because he did that weird EDP video. But I'm like, other than that, it's like, fam, you literally have no other like content or nothing else to talk about. So I mean, I guess, like, again, if he watches these videos, then he might have some things to talk about. But at the end of the day, it's like, what do you think is much more worse? You know, me passing on criticism, or you defending a pedophile? I'm saying it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you really got to sit down and think about it. Yeah, he's still, and that's why with this part of the video, I was like, yeah, he still hasn't learned. You know, he's still going to come back, do the same old stuff, and then it's just going to be another situation where he gets himself canceled. That's just how that stuff works. It ain't no different than blowing up a balloon. It's like, yeah, eventually you're going to blow up that balloon, you're going to put too much air in it, and it's going to pop. I feel like that's what his situation is going to be. It's like, you're going to put too much air in these videos, and then eventually there is going to be that video that pops, and it's going to be bad for you. So, anyways.
And take a break for a little bit. I hate that people can literally say anything about me, and it's treated as fact, even if they have no evidence for their claim. I debunked our gentleman's video on me, he took it down, quit YouTube for several months, and once this drama around me happened, he re-uploaded it, and it got over 200,000 views. Come on, that's a bitch move. Know what else is a bitch move? People coming out with allegations against me that if they released at any other time wouldn't have been taken seriously at all. If you think these allegations are half as damning as you painted them out to be, then you should have released them way sooner. But I guess you got a lot of views and attention, so I suppose it was worth it. Someone told me that more videos have been made on me than Cinny. I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels true. I know there are people who haven't made a video on Cinny, but did make a video on me. Being more hated than a is not a good feeling.
What right does he think he has to criticize any other creator at this point? You defended a groomer. You asked a 17-year-old for porn, and every other issue with you is now out there. You don't get to pretend to be the victim here. You aren't one.
I don't think people...
And I feel like that, no, if Just a Robot I feel like this is the time where it's like Harley TBS, he gotta become like they gotta become a meme in the right way, where it's like they like anytime when Just a Robot makes a video on somebody, we just gotta take that clip of this video and then that needs to be our response. Because I'm like, fam, there's literally nothing that you can say to anybody. Like I'm saying, like, because I feel like he'll probably go after people in the art CC community. He'll go after other creators. He most likely is gonna come after me and stuff. And it's like, fam, what is that gonna... The thing is this, all right? You get all these views, you talk about us and stuff, and it's like, all right, all we just gotta do is like, remember that video you did with Cinnamon, and then all just the domino effect that it had afterwards? Leave us alone, bruh. Just like, honestly, just leave us alone. I'm like, the best thing that you can do is quit YouTube and content creating. Because I'm like, the thing is this. It's either you do that or you gotta change up how you do content. But it's like, you can't come back on the same energy that you was on before. It's like thinking that that's gonna be good for you. It's not, bruh. It's really not. When all these different creators is like growing and rising through the ranks and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, bruh, that ain't gonna be good for you. So the best thing that you can do is either quit or change up your content. If you ain't willing to do that, then yeah, you ain't going... I think it's just gonna pretty much like kind of just... It's... Well, how could I place it? It might just be kind of like his little retirement, moment with content creating. He's just gonna put out these final few videos and then eventually end up disappearing, because it's like you ain't gonna have no successful content, not after this. And then trying to go after other people, yeah, it's like, yeah, go on. My thing is this: you might have like some stuff to say about me, you might have some stuff to say about everybody else, but it's like the people that you were harassing at this VidCon event. What could you possibly say about that? Oh, I didn't do it. That's literally it. That's all that you possibly say. Oh, they don't have no proof. Like, man, come on now.
But we're gonna let me ignore this. When you take every single mistake anyone has ever made and line them up in a row, we all look like monsters. This drama has shown me one thing: people for years couldn't wait to see my downfall. And it sucks to know that. But not everyone is against me. A lot of people want to see me make a comeback. And I understand that for the last couple of months on YouTube, I've been acting a little bit crazy. I should have taken...
And I'm like, the only people that probably want to see him make a comeback on YouTube is the fans of his that hasn't came out and spoken out about this whole situation. Because there are people that are within Just the Robots community that I've seen and I've dealt with, where it's like they haven't spoke out about Just the Robots behavior. And again, it's that scare tactic stuff. It's like they're scared of him. They like, obviously ain't gonna... That's like them guys like back in the 90s, like at his prime too, speaking out about Suge Knight. Yeah, how is that gonna work out? Snoop Dogg had to literally sleep with covers over his I think it was his neck. I think he was holding a fork and a knife because he didn't trust the thing was this: he didn't even talk out against Suge Knight. All he, just to explain to you guys that situation real quick. So back in the 90s, like there's this beef called the East Coast West Coast beef. I don't know, there might be some people that might not know that, but just kind of to give you a little bit of a hip hop history lesson, So anyways, so there was this rap beef going on back in the 90s, and it was the East Coast West Coast beef. West Coast rappers had beef with East Coast rappers, and same going back and forth. So Tupac, it's weird because he was born, and I think he did grow up a little bit on the East Coast, but at some point in time he did move to the West Coast, so he considered himself more of a West Coast rapper. I think he did take a lot of trips to the West Coast, but anyways, regardless. So anyways, he gets signed to Suge Knight's record label, Death Row Records. So anyways, gets signed to Death Row Records, and then at some point in time, Tupac was shot and robbed at an I think it was a hotel. Was it a hotel or recording studio? Regardless of the fact, Tupac had got shot and robbed. So at that point, I think it was from that moment, and then when Biggie, another hip-hop artist, he had released a song called Who Shot Ya. Now, Tupac thought that was a diss track directed towards him. Turns out it wasn't, but Tupac didn't see it that way. So then they kind of started going back and forth. Tupac had started dissing Biggie. Biggie had no choice but to respond back. He started dissing him. But anyways, Snoop Dogg, so how it landed to him. So Snoop Dogg gets on this radio show, and they asked him, like, where do you stand on this East Coast, West Coast beef? And I think he said something along the lines like, I got love for Diddy and Biggie and all that stuff. And so this was like back then when we didn't really know too much about Diddy and stuff. So anyways, so he was like, yeah, I got love for those guys. Suge Knight, Tupac, everybody at death row, they're all upset about it. And they're all like, nah, fam, it's like, you can't, like, go out and speak against your ops, your rivals like that. So anyways, Snoop Dogg is getting on a plane, and he's like, I think he said he looked over at Tupac, and he threw his, like, fist up or his hand to, like, dap up Tupac. And he was like, hey, what's up, Pac? And I think he said Pac just, like, kind of just shoot him away and stuff. So he knew that something wasn't right, too, because I think on top of that, Suge Knight did say something along the lines like, no, your security gotta go catch a plane or a cab somewhere else, but you gotta be on the plane with us. So he went and, I think they said that's when he went and got a fork in the knife, where he said he got a fork in the knife, had his, like, covers up to his neck, because he thought he was gonna get jumped. But I'm like, fam, he didn't even speak out against, Suge Knight and them guys. All he just said, he got love for somebody else, and they were tripping about it. So I'm just saying, I feel like that's overall, what, Just a Robot kind of got on his friends and fans, where it's like, you know, he don't really got dirt over them, but he got like this manipulating mindset over them, where he's all like, no, I can do better than you, or I am better than you. Look at all these other people I've buried in the dirt and stuff. And it's like, man, come on now. It's like, be real. And look, and the funny thing is, look at Suge Knight's situation right now in prison. And I feel like, in a way, that's like what Just a Robot situation is. You know, it's like, it's kind of similar. Suge Knight did something, they landed himself in prison. Just a Robot, he did something that overall landed him in a position of getting canceled. So, but anyways.
A lot longer ago, but I'm going to do so now.
Well, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. As I mentioned, I have a second channel down below and a new video right now over there. Give it a look if you'd like to see more from me. The rest of my social media is in the description. Please consider becoming a channel member for early access to content and to financially support the channel. These videos take quite a while to make, and I would appreciate your generosity. All of that said, thank you for watching. Peace.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, he comes back. It's something where it's just, if that's what you want to do, good luck, I guess. But I just don't think it's not going to be all that good. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, I don't see it being good for him when he does come back. But his choice, he's a grown man. But anyways, make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Harley TBS for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.